Hello and welcome to Ultramodern Morons, a podcast about trying new things. It's right there in the title. We try something new, we gather here every other week, and we talk about it. I'm 90s bad boy, Joel.
And I am 70s golf star, Luke.
Luke, this is our third episode. I don't know if you've been counting, but I've heard the saying, third time's the charm. So I think we're on track to create our first good episode this time.
Well, Joel, I was thinking about that myself, and to commemorate our third episode, I brought you a steaming pile of hot garbage.
Wait, are you referring to the new thing you tried?
I am referring to the new thing I tried.
Okay, well, might as well just rip the Band-Aid off and tell me what you did this episode.
Well, Joel, I don't know if you do your own grocery shopping or not, but for those of us that do, I know you don't.
Okay, you got me. I was going to sit here silently and hope we passed over it, but no, you got me pinned dead to rights. I do not do my own grocery shopping.
For those of us that do, we have to go through a little thing called the checkout aisle. Mm-hmm. And these checkout aisles are typically, where the grocery store tries to get you with one last purchase. And they typically have things, like lighters and candy bars. Mm-hmm. But the other thing they have is hot garbage tabloid magazines. Okay. And I've always thought to myself, I wonder what is in one of those hot garbage tabloid magazines.
Oh my goodness.
So for this week, I went to the grocery store, got my things, and then while I was at the checkout, I shamelessly picked one of them up and purchased it for $6.
$6? Are you joking? What?
And I spent the last, 24 hours paging through it.
Which magazine did you pick up?
So I got, let me find, volume 95, number 16 of People magazine.
Oh, okay, yeah.
To be fair, I don't think People magazine is like the absolute trashiest magazine out there. I think it's somewhat legit, but at the time it was the one. It was the magazine that looked, it was shittiest to me. Sitting next to National Geographic and Time magazine. It's okay, People's probably what I want.
Did it have a paparazzi photo of some celebrity in schlubby sweatpants walking down their front driveway on the front?
Not on the cover, but it had the classic, just a collage of photos of celebrities just all over the cover, and then various headlines this one is JoJo Siwa. Yeah, I think she's some internet star, Nickelodeon star. I'm so proud to be me about her coming out, and then Tiger Woods, new controversy. So I was like, this is what I want. I read most of it. Some of it's skimming, but I would say a solid 90% of the names used for celebrities, I just had no idea who they were.
Isn't that weird? I'm feeling that more and more when I hear about these influencers and stuff. This is where Ultramodern Morons turns into the old man show, because I don't know who any of these people are. I'm in my mid-20s. Why am I suddenly out of touch?
I was in the same boat. I was yeah, literally 10%. I was just oh, I think I recognize that name. I've probably seen something that they're in. But the other 90%, it's just yeah, who are these people? And it's funny too, because they never explain who they are, but they, and this isn't just a People magazine thing. It's, I think, most journalism. And the more I think about it, the more kind of weird it is. They always give the person's age. So it'll be JoJo Siwa, 17. I'm that doesn't really help me out here. And it's not relevant to any part of the story.
I'm sort of taking this new thing in stride here, but I got to ask you, what was the driving factor behind inspiring you to do this? Is this just been a dream of yours forever? I want one of those magazines.
It is kind of a not necessarily a guilty pleasure, because I did enjoy it, but I guess you would say just curiosity. It's just one of those things where you always see it, and I would just normally never pick one up and actually look through it. Mm-hmm. It's kind of you went to Six Flags, Disney World, an amusement park as a child.
Yeah, I've been.
It's kind of similar to, do you remember they would always have those crazy cups that you could get for $15 and they would fill it with soda? Yeah. To me, it's kind of like that. Whereas as a child, I would always be man, I really want one of those. But in the long run, it would just get thrown in a cupboard. It's kind of like that.
It's like a sugar hit where it's just just quick in the moment trash that you don't even think about once you've read through it.
Nice drag of a cigarette.
Okay, so you've read People magazine. I can't say I ever have, so I'm genuinely curious. What would you give it on a trashiness scale out of 10?
I feel like it's not trashy in the sense of like, oh, freaking let me see one of the celebrities it mentions, Brad Paisley, caught in his underwear on the beach or whatever. Not trashy in that sense, but more trashy and just like, this is what boring stuff or new stuff this celebrity's up to. This is what this celebrity is doing. This is a little snippet of an interview from this celebrity.
It's like high trash.
Yeah, it's like high level trash of just like
artful trash.
Internet, or not internet, but celebrity culture, I guess.
So I guess rephrasing it that way, what would you give it out of 10 in terms of celebrity trash culture?
Oh, I feel like probably like a 9 out of 10.
Wow. Okay. The premier trash magazine when it comes to celebrities.
If you want celebrity info, goss, this is your magazine.
Normally, for the last couple of episodes, I always say like, "Oh, I'm looking forward to it," but this one's actually like, "Huh." Like, what if it awakens something in me where I did not realize how much I care about these celebrities' lives? I'm just hooked from now on. I'm going to be late to all the recordings because I'm reading all the trashy tabloids.
Well, Joel, that's what I had for you. A nice, relaxing magazine read while you take a shit in the morning. I don't know. What do you have for me?
Mine's a little different than what you did. So for this episode, I tried running 1 mile as fast as I could.
Wow. Just basically just putting on the old running shoes and going for it.
I put on my running shoes. I walked out the door and I just started running. I haven't run 1 mile as fast as I could since like elementary school in gym class.
Yeah.
So this was an interesting experiment.
I don't know if you remember from old elementary school, but yeah, I was very much a jog couple of minutes, walk couple of minutes kind of guy.
Well, boy, howdy, I'll tell you, it was harder than I thought. I'm actually quite curious. Luke, how fast do you think I can run 1 mile? I want you to guess my time before I tell you.
I'm guessing it's probably a little bit better than what I could do.
Maybe.
And last time I ran like a mile, it was like 2 summers ago. And I think I was like in the 9s, the like 9 something.
You're actually pretty close. It was 31 minutes and no, I'm kidding. It was 8 minutes and 40 seconds is what it took me to run 1 mile.
Okay.
Which honestly I'm kind of disappointed by because I'm not really a fast runner, but I have done some distance running in the past, especially this past fall season. I was like running multiple times a week for multiple miles. And so to get 840 was kind of like, but there's a bit of a twist in the story.
Whoa.
I always run in my neighborhood on the streets in good old suburbia. And I run the same route every time so that I know how far 1 mile is. And I even run like on the same side of the street when I cross over and all that stuff. And so I was running like obviously faster than I normally do. And I get down to the dead end cul-de-sac where I know, okay, I go down there, I turn around, I reach that driveway, and that's roughly 1 mile. And so I maybe had a couple hundred feet to go. I was going to turn around, run a couple hundred feet back. And like, I was like, okay, that's probably like around where it'll be like 1 mile. I looked at my smartwatch, which tracks my runs. I was at 0.57 miles. I was like, what in the world? Like, is this thing working? And then so I kept running. I turned around, I ran back, and I passed the driveway. I was at 0.8 miles. And I was like, oh no, what's going on?
What in the world?
It was odd. I don't want to blame it on that, but I was dying.
Wait, so if I understand this right, this entire time that you've been thinking you've been running a mile, it's been like less?
I don't know. That's the weird part about it is because I've had this smartwatch which tells me that that's a mile pretty consistently. So I don't know what's up. It was a little weird. All I know is that it knocked the wind out of me. I was huffing and puffing and like my chest hurt and I was like seriously considering just dropping out halfway and just being like, whatever, I'll pick something else this week and just not even tell Luke that I tried to run a mile. It was that bad. I was like the who was the Greek soldier who ran the marathon? He ran all those miles to marathon. He gave the report on the arm and then he died. That's like me, but with a 1 mile. I ran 1 mile. I yelled my time into the air and I passed out dead.
Oh my goodness. This is going to be, this might actually kill me. Yeah, I'm not that I don't think either of us are terribly like unfit guys. It's
No.
just, we're not people that regularly run miles as quickly as we can.
That's the thing is it'd be the type of thing that you almost need to train up to. Like we should almost in 6 months or something bring this challenge, try this as a new thing again and see what we do. Because it doesn't sound like a lot of time. It's like, oh, less than 10 minutes. It's like, just might as well endure that. But boy, it feels like a long 8-minute 40 seconds. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I'm a little. This will actually probably take a little bit of planning on my part as well, because you're in a nice flat area of the country where I'm in a very mountainous, hilly. So
true.
It's pretty hard to find a mile stretch that's that doesn't have some significant hills.
Some mile stretch that's all downhill that you're just sprinting down on a windy day with the wind to your back.
Just leaping and bounding. You come back. Yeah, I did it in 6 minutes. Whatever.
You pick up enough speed, you just dive in the air and fly the rest of the mile.
Put on my wingsuit.
There's nothing in the rules saying you can't, I guess, technically. Well, Luke, I'm looking forward to picking up a tabloid magazine, I guess, and I'm sure you're looking forward to putting in the work running 1 mile, huh?
I'm absolutely pumped for it. Already got my steroids guy on speed dial.
The effort for the challenge that we're giving each other is pretty substantially different. So we'll be back in segment 2 to further the discussion. In the meantime, stick around and enjoy 30 seconds of Scottish bagpipe music. We're back. How's it going, Luke?
Oh, it's going pretty good, Joel. How are you?
Not too bad. What have you been up to for the last 8 days since we recorded segment 1?
Well, Joel, as soon as we got off the last call, I strapped on my running shoes, and I've been running ever since.
Wow. You literally just sat down from your run. That's how long 1 mile took you.
I just sat down. I don't know if you can tell, but, I'm malnourished, dehydrated.
I was wondering why you're so sweaty. I mean, you're normally this sweaty when we record, but you're like extra sweaty. It's weird.
Yeah, and it's crazy. That entire time, I just finished my mile, essentially.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know what we're at.
Well over 100 hours.
Yeah, well over 100 hours. So I'm a little over your time of 8 minutes and what was it?
If you cared about me as a friend, you'd know.
8 minutes and 30 seconds.
40 seconds.
40
Thank
seconds.
you for thinking highly of me and thinking I can run that fast, but no.
But in all honesty, though, I did, this past weekend, I ran a mile, first time in, 2 years, maybe. And it went fairly well. Just like I predicted, I got in the 9s. I believe I got 9 minutes and 39 seconds.
Okay.
Which I was fine with. As long as I was like below 10 minutes, I was happy.
How did you feel when you were running it?
I felt really good. So I'm not like terribly active, but I'm also not inactive. I go on like a lot of hikes on the weekends. And when hiking, I always, I'm always, ready to get going because typically we're hiking to like a destination, like a mountain peak or, waterfall or something. So I'm like ready to go get to our destination. So I always start out with like just a pace that I cannot keep up with.
A little ambitious.
So I was very conscientious of that when I ran this mile. So I started out probably a bit slower than I needed to.
Okay.
Because towards the end, I was like, oh shit, I've got like, a 1/10 of a mile to go. And like, I want to go as fast as I can. So I was just sprinting, just hauling for this last 1/10 of a mile.
Oh, I bet that looked awesome. Just some guy sprinting down the sidewalk.
Just, screaming something about, I got to do this for my podcast.
That's about the lamest thing you could do it for. Well, that's pretty good. I think that's more that's probably preferable to just like doing it my way. It's kind of funny that we did it opposite ways. I like went super hard at the beginning. I was like, here we go. And then just got super gassed by the end.
Yeah, it's really, I guess I didn't expect this, but I mean, like part of, I guess, being talented at running is knowing, not just like having the stamina, but knowing like what pace to set and what you can maintain and for how long.
That's something you learn with experience and stuff. I come from a family of runners, and I've been to one of my brother's cross meets before, and not my brother, but some other people on his team, as they're like doing what you did, they'd be like sprinting across the finish line after doing a 5K. My mom's like, tisk tisk, like they shouldn't be able to do that. You should like pace it just enough that you're like wiped, but you're still going at a good pace at the end. So, so I didn't do that in my run. It sounds like you didn't either, but like we both got there, huh?
No, I was on like I don't know, steroids one moment and freaking sleeping pills the next. I could not decide what I was doing.
Am I walking here? Am I sprinting here? How does this work?
So that's kind of how it went physically. Emotionally, spiritually, I really enjoyed it. I think this was one of the first times that I actually kind of like got the appeal of running, I did it because most of the times I would just like, when I ran before, it would be like, I don't know, like high noon, middle of the summer. And I just hate myself.
Why am I doing
But this was a crisp Sunday morning, before everyone was awake. It was just me. I did find I completely forgot last segment that, I don't know, a couple of blocks from my house is a nice paved trail. That used to be a railroad. So it's super flat. So that's what I ran my mile on. It was ideal conditions.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, after that, I was like, I kind of get it. I felt good about myself. I not only did I feel good in the moment, but I also felt good later in the day when I just sat on my ass for the rest of the day playing video games, knowing that I did my work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can enjoy it guilt-free. You're like, I got my steps for the day.
In fact, I enjoyed it so much that I went for another run today.
Really? How far?
Yeah, just about an hour ago. Another mile.
Good.
Today, though, I did not have that same feeling.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's been, 2 days since I ran the first mile. But, my legs were still a little sore. Okay. I did not use the trail. I just ran around my neighborhood, which is very hilly. Ooh. So it was just not as good of an experience.
Shoot. Yeah, you're like feeling all good, still riding the high of your last story, and this one just smacks you back down to reality.
Right back down to reality.
Are you gonna continue running, or is this just sort of a twice and done type of deal?
I think I'm gonna keep going. I'd like to, okay. This is me bearing my heart out. No, this is me, Luke. Famous golf player or whatever. I said at the beginning.
Yeah.
Making a commitment to our, literal tens of listeners.
Absolute single-digit listeners out there.
I'm gonna. I think for at least the next month, try to run 2 to 3 times a week.
Good for you. So this is gonna be like a recurring segment that I'll check back in on, huh?
Yeah, maybe at the end of. So would that be two episodes from now?
It'd be the end of May.
Yeah. See if I kept up with it.
Okay. Good. A little recurring segment here. That sounds fun. Even though running was like I had good feelings afterwards, like you said. In the moment, it was basically just like an awful, like I just hate myself. And it's kind of funny that I had the similar like vibe, but in a different way when I was reading these tabloid magazines that you made me read. if you wanna experience that smooth segue to my thing, if you want to talk about that now.
I'd love to hear it.
Well, I got two magazines from Walmart. I didn't need to go to the store, so I went there specifically to get them. I felt really stupid, but I got People magazine like you did, and it's the April 26, 2021 edition. It's Prince Philip, A Life of Love and Loyalty. So it's all about the royal family and stuff like that.
Nice.
And I also got National Examiner. Let me show you what the...
Oh yeah, that's the garbage that we're looking for.
This is that tabloid trash. And it's funny because it's also from April 26th, and this one's titled The Queen's Royal Rage, Why She'll Never Forgive Harry and Meghan.
Wow.
And I thought, well, that's interesting that they're like, I mean, they're both basically the same thing. They're both these like trashy magazines. I'll get both of them and do a little compare and contrast. Mm-hmm. First gut reactions. I have to basically take back everything I said about People magazine in the first segment. I thought People magazine was like a trashy tabloid, and it really isn't. It's just like a normal magazine just about celebrities.
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe I tipped the scales in terms of your feelings on that. Because after reading it, I was like, I mean, no, it's not trash. but it's, you know, not like any high literature or anything.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it's for what it's worth, I think it's really well done. Like the graphic design and all that stuff is like, it's actually kind of nice. I'm like scrolling through, I'm like, oh, look at these cool pictures. But in terms of like,
okay, I have a comment.
Okay.
That you know, if you're specifically bringing up the pictures, about half of the pictures in my copy of People magazine are just blurry.
Really?
They're just like, yeah. I mean, I won't be able to convey it over the podcast, obviously. But yeah, they're just like, it looks like, I don't know, they're in like freaking 240p or something, a YouTube video.
Interesting.
They just took a screen cap of. It's really bad.
Huh.
I don't know if that was just like a defect in the printing just for my copy, but yeah.
I mean, not every photo is like the crispest of the crisp, but like a lot of them are like really solid. I thought it was like laid out pretty well, and just like I didn't really realize until like I think I was like watching like some investigative show on TV, and I saw like there's like I don't remember what it's called right now, but People magazine has like a TV channel where they do like investigative journalism or whatever, and it's sort of like that, like it's sort of like that yeah, I don't know, like My Husband Murdered Me type of TV show or whatever, but I would qualify it as news that nobody needs. I mean, it's just celebrity stuff that like who cares, but I mean, if you're gonna do that, you might as well do it well.
That's a good way to put it, and I guess that's a more accurate way to put it. I guess I just called it trashy, or consider it trashy, because it's something I don't really care about, and I don't think it's worth caring about.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. Oh, I guess I should mention the headline story about Prince Philip. I thought it was really well done. I had never really read much on him before. It like goes through his like whole life and his like life story with all these photos, and I think it's really well done. It's actually pretty engaging. It
seems like you really kind of lucked out in the People magazine department.
I don't know if this is like their special edition that they put a lot of effort into or what, but it was like, I thought it was actually like, wow, this is surprisingly solid.
So you get a nice little biopic or whatever, you know, of Prince Philip and his life, and I get Jojo Siwa and Brad Paisley, talking about their lives, and like, I mean, yeah, the writing isn't like terrible, but there was one instance in like like I said, one of the other big topics was Brad Paisley or whatever, and no joke, like 6 paragraphs in, there's just a sentence of like, Brad Paisley, comma, a lifelong guitar player or whatever, or like a guitar player, like born and raised in West Virginia. And like, I feel like that's information that should have been conveyed like at the beginning.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So that was People magazine. That one was $6. It's fine. And I also got the National Examiner one, and this one was $5, and it's just worse. It's bad. It's not good at all. This one's just classic tabloid trash.
Yeah.
It's like these like salacious headlines and bad paper, and just like, I think the formatting and layout of this one made me appreciate People more because it's so much worse. It's like your eye just doesn't flow across the page, and everything is just like kind of harder to read. It's not very good. And the weirdest thing about it is they don't credit the author to any of the articles. And that to me just screams like, okay, this is all junk. Like you don't,
yeah, like, nobody wants their name tied in with it.
Yeah, no one wants their name tied with it. It's just like, it made me think like I have this conspiracy that it's just literally one guy in some basement just making all this up, because it actually is just the definition of just like fake news. We'll talk about the main headline news story about like the Queen's rage or whatever. But there was this page in here called Wisdoms of the Stars. And I love this because it's just like, I don't know, maybe they need to like fill the page or something. It's just a bunch of celebrities and politicians and public figures, and they're like little paragraph like quotes. And it's like, here's one for Javier Bardem, which I thought was funny, which just says, "I was raised not to be afraid to show emotion or imagination." Like, good job. How are you wow, I'm glad you hit me with that. That's
I was raised to be a shell of a man.
Yeah, it's just like, I was raised to try to be happy. It's like, okay, like that doesn't really mean anything. Let me find the Queen story. I mean, it's just all like, it's really quite the experience to read one of these. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the stupid Queen story?
Oh, having read both of them, did you have the same experience that I did of just not knowing who like 80% of the people were?
Yeah, there were some double page spreads on this like person or whatever. I don't know. Some of them are maybe like daytime TV stars or like more like reality TV people, and it's like I don't know that. I mean, all the big name celebrities is like, yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I knew like maybe 60 or 70% of the people in here. But let me read you a little excerpt from the from Queen Liz Unleashes Her Fury! And this is all just, it's nothing. It's really not a story at all. But the funniest part about it is their sources and any quotes they have from like air quotes, like inside people. It goes like this. It's the ultimate betrayal! Spills a longtime royal insider. What Harry and Meghan are doing flies in the face of what the Queen's entire life has stood for. Duty to her beloved Britain and dedication to its people!
Wow.
It's like nobody talks like that, and nobody puts exclamation point in writing. It's just like, this is some dude at the National Examiner headquarters leaning over and goes, hey, you want to be a source for this story? And they're like, yeah, here you go. Here's my opinion. And he just like quotes him on it. It's not, and the fact that they don't give you the author of the piece, the story just starts. It's just like, okay, cool.
He's just quoting himself.
I know, exactly. Apparently, National Examiner, kind of funnily enough, doesn't have a website or anything like that, and they don't have any like social media. It's like they literally just make this like piece of paper that I'm holding is what they make like once a week or whatever it is, and it just targets older people.
It's just some guy in his barn.
Yeah, some dude. I don't know. I guess they target older people with it, obviously, or whatever. But it's just I don't know. It's just kind of funny. Yeah, that's all I got, Luke. Any final thoughts on these the tabloids and or running?
Not really, other than just kind of a feeling of sadness, that
I think so.
This is a dying medium, let's be honest.
Yeah, and maybe for good reason, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe I gave them $5 for that. That's like I could buy a whole Subway sandwich for that much.
Yeah, so that's the opinion of two young white guys on People Magazine and National Enquirer or whatever.
Oh, yeah, completely not the audience for these going, I thought it was shallow and pedantic. But that's it for us this week, or this bi-weekly show we do. Thank you so much for listening. We are available on iTunes, Spotify. Where else, Luke?
Google Podcasts.
YouTube. We're there. We're on Twitter as well if you want to follow us at UMM Podcasts. We will be tweeting out these episodes, and you can check out all our previous episodes online as well. We will be back in 2 weeks on, May 15 or something like that?
May 1st.
This is
the May 1st episode. May 15.
It is May 1st right now, Luke. How crazy is that? Time travel.
We'll be back with you with this episode.
We're going to replay this episode on the 15th. But that's it. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
See ya.